So it's been a week since South Africa was hit by 30% tariffs by Donald Trump. So what has been happening ever since? Is our country collapsing? Is the economy collapsing? Well, not really. The South African rand did lose its value against the dollar all the way up to 18 rands per dollar, as you can see right there. And also the Johannesburg Stock Exchange Top 40 Index also dropped about 1.2% on the 1st of August, as you can see right there. But the rand has recovered to levels before the tariffs, as you can see right there. And also the top 40 index has also recovered about 0.6 of that 1.2% that it had lost before. So this shows that the South African economy has shown resilience. Now, what are the things that the South African government did to mitigate this crisis? Well, first of all, they opened something called the Export Help Desk. Now, the aim of this help desk is to help companies that are going to be affected by these tariffs to find other markets across the world. So what they're doing is that if you have a farm and you sell fruits and vegetables to the United States, what they're doing is that they're looking to other countries and finding out countries that are importing these same goods. So if you have a country like Vietnam, for example, I'm just giving an example, and they import avocados. So what they're doing is that they're looking for what are the requirements, what certification do you need, what quality do you need, and they're already having that ready for you when you call them to say, hey, I'm going to be impacted by these tariffs, so I need a new market. They say, oh, what do you sell? You sell avocados? Well, these are the things you need. You need to test this. You need to send a sample about this. So they're already establishing those connections with many, many countries across the world. The other thing that they did is that there's a fund now that is being put aside to help these companies as they transition from supplying their goods to the United States to supplying them to different countries across the world. So there's going to be a fund which will be put aside to make sure that these companies don't close up and then people don't lose jobs. But as you can see, with the recovery of the rand and the Johannesburg stock market, even though it hasn't recovered completely, but we have seen it recovering. So this shows that people are having confidence. So the question is, why does the rand lose its value and why does the stock exchange index lose its value? The reason is because these things rely on investors' confidence. So imagine it like this. If you had shares on a company in South Africa and you heard that they're no longer going to making profit, they might start firing people or they might even go bankrupt. What you're going to do is that to save your money, you're probably going to pull out all your investments or some of them just to mitigate the risk. So this devalues the value of that company. And the same thing is happening to the rand. If people are pulling their money outside of South African companies, that means that the rand is going to lose its value as well. But with the steps that were taken by the South African government, it looks like people are now gaining confidence that this is not going to be as bad as they thought. That's why you can see the rand gaining its strength against the dollar, and also the top 40 index is also gaining its strength and its value as well. Now, other countries haven't been so lucky. For example, Lesotho has been struggling under those 50% tariffs that Donald Trump put on them.